John Adams. Lucifer is the head of the Illuminati. A lot of people don't understand that. You can listen to all these patriotic talk shows. You can go on all these patriotic web pages, but you'll never have a true understanding of what's going on in the world. Yes, it's money. In fact, Dr. Mako says it's a banking cartel. And he brings in the Rothschilds, and he tells you all about the Rothschilds, and he goes through history. This is an important book with much documentation in it. It's around 250 pages in length. But most of all, Dr. Mako says, look at the satanic aspects of this. This is deeper than just government and banking. This has to do with men's hearts. With men's hearts. Don't you know, dear friends, the spiritual always trumps the material? Always. Now, Illuminati, the cult that hijacked the world. You must have this. Is it a Jewish conspiracy? Yes, because they're using the Jews in Zionism. Dr. Mako explains that exactly. They've hitched on to this thing, and they're taking Zionism for a ride and using it. Just as he explains in this book, they did the same thing with Nazism, with communism, and dating all the way back to the Illuminism of the French Revolution. All revolutionary causes are by the Illuminati. And again, this book is so valuable in that aspect. What about anti-Semitism? Yes, they're using that. It's a vehicle that they use to destroy opponents of the New World Order. He talks about the hidden history in here, Zionism and the Holocaust. He talks about the Illuminati murder of presidents of the United States, world wars being orchestrated, and much, much more. Are the Rothschilds Illuminati agents? He says they are, and he proves it in this book. Did the Rothschilds and the Illuminatists use Hitler to create Israel? Dr. Mako says yes, they did, and he presents documentation of it. By the way, he also exposes the Canadian tools, Lester Pearson and others who were prime ministers of that great nation of Canada, and how they also were stooges of the Illuminati conspiracy. You must have this book. Friends, I believe this is the most important book you could buy this year, and we're offering it for just $20. $20 for this book. And I can't recommend it enough. Please get this book. Now, here's how to get the book. $20, add $5 shipping and handling, a total of $25 postpaid. You can phone us toll-free in Canada, the United States. Phone us. 1-800-234-9673. 1-800-234-9673. You can also go to my website, powerofprophecy.com. Powerofprophecy.com. And you'll see this book just right on the home page there. You're going to see a big advertisement for this book. That shows you how important I believe this book is. It's the most important book published this year and maybe this decade. You need this book. It explains, it lays it all out. What is Judaism really? What has Christianity contributed to America? Why do the Illuminists promote the satanic cardinal doctrine, do as thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law? That's a question I'm going to be asking Dr. Henry Mako in just a moment. Okay, now, go to the website, order this book from the website, okay, 24/7. Illuminati, the Cult That Hijacked the World, by Dr. Henry Mako. That's M-A-K-O-W. And by the way, you'll want to read a lot of the other articles and things from Dr. Mako on his website. It's henrymako.com. Henry Mako, M-A-K-O-W.com. You can order his other book that I highly recommend, Cruel Hoax, Feminism, and the New World Order. And by the way, Dr. Mako was kind enough to send me a review copy, and after I read it, I gave it to my wife, Wanda, and I said, Wanda, you'll want to read this book. But it was a little bit safe for me to do that because I know that Wanda agrees with Dr. Mako, and it'll reinforce what she believes and give a lot of evidence and documentation for it as well. It'll improve your marriage, dear friends, by reading this book. It really will. I think it's like a marriage counseling book. But more than that, if you're single, you need this book. If you're single, you definitely need the book Cruel Hoax by Dr. Mako. And now we're going to return to Dr. Mako. Oh, our address. I'm sorry. Sandra reminds me. I'm always forgetting things. Our address, if you want to send us that $25 postpaid, $20 for the book Illuminati, the cult that hijacked the world. Or say, hey, text, send me the book by the Canadian doctor, and I'll send it right out to you. Well, no, we have smart people here. They're probably smarter than me. They think they are sometimes. Sometimes they really are. Our staff here. In any case, we'll get the book right out to you. And as always, dear friends, when we get your order, we count it as a piece of gold. We don't take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We get your order out here within 2 work days. That's right. You order something, you want it. And we're going to send it right out to you. If we have to work overtime or weekends, we're going to fill our orders because you come first at Power of Prophecy. Now, our address is Power of Prophecy, 1708, that's 1708, Patterson Road. We've been here over a decade now. Patterson Road, Austin, Texas, 78733. I might add, we've had 3 years of IRS audits and several visits by the FBI. And you know what? We're still here. And we've been friendly with all of them. Oh, they've audited us. They've tried to intimidate us and bully us. And we're still friendly with the IRS and the FBI. If they were to come today, I'd still offer them a cup of coffee. I wouldn't much appreciate their harassing us. But, you just got to take those things sometime. Because truth tellers always face opposition. Always. And it's a pleasure to be on the right side of the Lord. Okay, now let's return to our guest today, Dr. Henry Mako, author of Illuminati, the cult that hijacked the world. Dr. Mako, in your book, you say that this is a satanic doctrine whose author is Satan, and that, the shibboleth of the Church of Satan is, do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Is this sort of the mindset of the Illuminati?
Well, it definitely is, and it's also the mindset of liberals, socialists, communists, all the people who've been indoctrinated to think that what is normal and healthy and wholesome is somehow boring and must be rejected. If we look at nature, we can, if we look at the universe, the changes of the seasons, the night and day, it's obvious that there is a design. It's obvious that there's a design in creation that that when a child is born, he's perfect, and all you have to, and a plant, all you have to do is give a plant a little bit of water and a little bit of sunshine, and it has an inherent design and it flourishes. All it needs is a few things, and those principles govern human life. God has blessed us. It all works. There's a design, but we have to follow the design if we are going to be healthy and going to flourish. And we have to have just a little bit of food and a little bit of light, which is love. And so what they mean by do what thou wilt is it's basically ignore the design, ignore the inherent design, and do whatever you damn well want. Well, in other words, make yourself sick is what they're saying. Go ahead, because if you will follow your lusts, you're going to become addicted to them, and you're going to be sick. And that's what do what thou wilt is all about. It's the implication that it's the assumption that there isn't enough. Life does not have enough inherent goodness and inherent rewards. Just ordinary life. And these people think that they have to indulge in drinking or sex or God knows what degradation in order to find happiness. When of course they just find suffering. And so So, do what they will is really means just ignoring the inherent design and order, that God-given order in life, and that's what they're telling people to do. It's quite, like, for example, it's quite obvious that men and women are different. It's quite obvious that women want strong men who are protective and loving and loyal. It's quite obvious that results in a strong marriage, and that a strong marriage is essential to bring up children in an economically and emotionally secure environment. And so what are they doing, these Illuminists? They're trying to destroy the basis of gender, which I explain in Cruel Hoax, by making women compete with men for the male role. They're breaking up families. This is satanic. It's deliberately breaking up families so that women have to raise children by themselves, insecure economically, and without the support and love of a husband. It's all a huge cosmic conspiracy. And you can see its evidence everywhere. You can see it in communism. You can see it in socialism. You can see it in revolutions. Revolutions, of course they're going to put on this window dressing about, we're only concerned about the downtrodden. That's nonsense. They don't care about the working class. Ultimately, at their heart, revolutions is about Lucifer replacing God. That's what revolution means. It means turning the order 180 degrees on its head.
So, you mentioned the Sabbatean Jews in the first half of our program. I remember reading a number of times how they believed that for a person to become like a human god, they would have to embrace the darkness as much as they embrace the light. They would have to experience, to taste all that the world of sin has to offer before they could be a person of light. Isn't that some kind of a confused doctrine?
Yeah, it's these people are crazy. They're just crazy. Doctrine is a redemption through sin. It's some nonsense about the Messiah. They're obsessed with the Messiah coming back, which is nonsense. Their Messiah anyway. The Messiah, as far as I'm concerned, Jesus was a perfectly good Messiah, and their mistake was not accepting Jesus, in my opinion. But but how could they accept Jesus? They worship the devil, So naturally, they're not going to accept Jesus, right?
Absolutely. Because Jesus had these things of goodness, as you mentioned, that were natural things to present to them, and they were unnatural men and women, as they are today.
These people are at war with the natural order. They're at war with what is healthy and good and wholesome. They're at war with what is loving and sustaining and uplifting. It's a cancer. A cancer that is totally got out of control. But, they have to keep it under wraps to some degree, because when it gets too obvious, there's bound to be a reaction, because I think people will recognize it and be revolted.
Now, and you mentioned revolution, and every revolution, let's just take communism or the Illuminist revolution of the French, in the 18th century. You say that they put forth this rosy paradise that they're after, the uplifting of the common man, but really they just have an evil heart and want to do evil. Is this what happened with communism? We know, that Kabbalistic Jews, the Lenin Museum now admits that Lenin was a crypto Jew, and so was Trotsky, of course. And the jury's still out on Stalin, although he is
half Jewish, if not totally Jewish. That's the whole. The Jewish people have been duped into being instruments of these sick Kabbalist bankers. I've known communists. I used to be sort of kind of left-leaning myself when I was younger. These people are they're idealistic. They actually have bought into the notion that public ownership, everyone should own everything and everyone should share everything. Of course, that's the philosophy of someone who doesn't own anything and doesn't know how to earn anything, right?
That's true.
And that's the philosophy of people who haven't grown up and want the state to be their